Hello everyone. So today we are going to talk about Office 365 or Microsoft 365 user account types, password policy options, and how we can install our remote PowerShell or a PowerShell for Azure AD as well as for Office 365 or Microsoft 365. What are the options available for authentication purpose in Office 365, and directory synchronization, how we can use Azure AD Connect to transfer on-premises account to 365, and how we can configure our tenant for the directory synchronization if need to add SPN, etc. And then we'll show you how we can do some configuration on Azure Connect Pass as well as troubleshooting of your directory synchronization. So this is what I will going to cover today. So let's start on this, and in the meantime, side by side, I will show you how we can do it in implementation steps. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, so user account types in Microsoft 365, we have three types of user account types. One is the first one, which is in cloud identity, where your user account exists in Azure or Microsoft Azure Active Directory only, and it does not have any integration with your on-premises environment. Suppose you don't have an on-premises environment, you have everything is in place in cloud. Authentication, user creation, everything will exist in cloud identity only. It's mostly suitable for a small organization where you don't want to put your domain controller, etc. at on-premises. The second one is synchronized identity. In the synchronized identity, the user account exists in on-premises and as well as in O365 or Microsoft 365. So it's a synchronized identity which is synced from on-premises to cloud. And in this scenario, what it will happen, it will create two objects in a different location, like one is in on-premises and the other object will be replicated or synchronized to cloud or Microsoft 365, and both objects are linked together. It's automatically syncing and administrator can define the synchronization, etc. I will show you how we can set it out and how we can define it. I will show you through Azure AD Connect, which is responsible to perform this activity. And then the last one is the federated identities. So in the federated identities, you have to integrate your Active Directory Federation Services or ADFS, and that must be deployed in your on-premises environment, and your user authentication request will be passed from Microsoft 365 to on-premises for authentication. It's a most common use for the large organizations, and even you can implement it pass-through authentication method. This is as an alternative for ADFS, where you do not require an ADFS services, but for complete federation authentication you have to maintain your ADFS environment also. So the request will be passed from Microsoft 365 to your on-premises ADFS environment, and once the authentication completed, the confirmation token is sent back to Microsoft Cloud, and users can access their mailboxes, their Teams integration solution or SharePoint portal or whatever thing for which the authentication request is passed. So these are the basic three types of user accounts exist. And if you want to create an user account in cloud identity, you can simply move to the environment in the cloud itself. Let me quickly show you. Okay, so here you can create an user account. Once you log in on the admin portal, you can see the active users are there. From here you can add new user account. In my last video I have shown you how we can add this user and all. I will show you the synchronized on-premises account and those details also in detail. Okay, so after this, what else we have here? We have an password policy options. We can configure a user password policy options where you can specify a number of days for the password expiration. You can also specify a number of days for warning, like you will be getting a warning message. Normally in organizations 90 days as a standard policy. From some CIS benchmarks etc, it's also recommended. So like for some countries regulations, so normally it's 90 days is recommended, else it's up to you. As per your organization requirement, you can define this password policy options. You can set a warning message, how users will be prompted to change their password. It's 10 days, 15 days, or whatever thing you want, you can put it. I will show you how we can set this password. The second option is resetting user password. So users password you can be reset with the temporary password, and you can also allow resetting options to another person, or user can reset their password by themselves. So this can be also defined in password policies. I will show you how we can set it, this policy. And the last one is, if we talk about, I have not written here, but the multi-factor authentication. It's also a core component of this password policy. So multi-factor authentication, or MFA in the short form it's known as, it's where user have to authenticate in two forms at least. The first one is user must enter the username and the password to signing, which is as in general normal process, and that's followed by a second authentication method that can be acknowledged through a phone call, through a text message, or an app notification on the smartphone. So users can select any of that method to authenticate themselves. First, user has to enter username and the password, and in the second process, either they can confirm over a phone call, text message, or an app notifications. Once they approve both in a successful form, then only they can able to access their environment. So this is a multi-factor authentication procedure, and then it's always recommended as a corporate security policy recommendation. So let me quickly show you how we can set it this. Okay, once you go in your Microsoft admin center, might be you must have a login permission for the similar level, at least global, apart from the global admin, you have some Active Directory permissions, from where I will show you what roles you can assign for users so they can set it up. Okay, so once you go on this portal, you can see in the left side setting option is there. Once you click on setting, extend it and go to org setting. In the org setting, security and the privacy option is there. Click on that. Here you can see the password expiration policy is mentioned. Once you click on this, okay, set user password to expire a number of days. Here you can set up a value for the number of days you want to retain the same password. This could be from minimum 14 days and maximum is 730 days, like 2 years. If you do not set this, then it will take as a disabled one. If you set it, I set it as a 60 days, so I can place it. If I place it as a 731 days, so you can see it must be number between 40 to 730 days. So this is the limit. Okay, let me quick it as a 90. Same as for the warning notification, this could be 1 to 30 days. If I put it as a 31, you can see it's required at least how many days? To 1 to 30 days. So I'm just putting it as a 15 days, or you can mark it as a 14 days. 14 days is recommended when you have less than 15 days remaining. Click on save. So this policy will be enabled, and save the changes. So now after 90 days, user has to change their password, and when 14 days remaining in the same, user will getting a prompt to change their password. This is the first thing. Then self service for the password reset. You can define this policy through Azure AD portal. So I'm just going to click on this and it will log into my Azure AD. Okay, it's asking me password to sign in the same. Let me quickly sign into my Azure AD portal. Okay, you can simply click on this, go to Azure AD portal. It will nothing else, it's just as in. Okay, so it's asking me for authentication purpose because I have enabled that. Yesterday I enabled that authentication method. Let me quickly sign in. Okay, now I logged into my portal. This is password reset policy structure. So here you can see the self password reset is enabled as selected as none, like it's for no one. If I choose as for the selected group, I have to select a group from here, from the default directory, for which I can apply it, or I can place it for everyone. So anyone can reset their password. So all the organization, all the users can set their password. For this authentication method, I need to select it. Okay, it's asking me to save the changes. Let me quickly cancel it and go to authentication method. From here you can choose how users can authenticate themselves and the number of authentication required when you are resetting your password. So 2 methods at least, or 1 method, and it must be through email and the mobile phone SMS notifications with the help of security questions. So number of questions you can define it, and the third one is mobile app code. With the help of this you can define it. So the number of authentication method you can choose it 1 or 2 as per your requirement for self-service password reset functionality. You can define it from here. Once you go and click on this, it will show you this page. Okay, from here you can define this policy just same as the password reset. We have an option how we can reset it. And the last one is we talked about, it's related to multi-factor authentication or MFA. So in MFA, how we can set it out, just click, let me quickly go back. Okay, once you click on the settings option, in the settings click on services. In the services you will get option for multi-factor authentication, this one. Okay, once you click on services you will get a multi-factor authentication, click on that. Okay, so configure multi-factor authentication. Here it will again bring you to Azure AD. Let me quickly go on Azure AD and show you how it's okay. So here you can see the multi-factor authentication is not enabled for these 2 users because we have only 2 users at this moment. You can select the user and click on this to enable it. Enable multi-factor authentication. I have not yet enabled, but I can enable it. So once you enable the multi-factor authentication, it will ask for a phone call. The method that can be used, text message to your given phone number, but initially first time you have to set that multi-factor authentication option, and even later on you can reset it that, so user can re-enable themselves if they're changing their phone number, or might be they lost their phone number and they want to change the authentication method, etc. So you can set it, the 4 options. One is the call over a phone, text message over a phone, or notification in the mobile app. If you have a smart phone, you will get an pop-up message to approve the request for login, or you can send in verification code also in the smartphone, just as a smartphone request or a notification request. So these are the 4 multi-factor authentication methods can be used. You can also see the deployment guide for users. So this is the process how you can use and how it will work. and same as if you can just click on this to set up. This is the link to set up MFA or multi-factor authentication details. So if I want to set it, I can set it from this account. Users can set up themselves. This is the basic link from where you can set up this. Okay, so now just I'm canceling it here, but I don't want to right now enable these users. I have to do a couple of more things. Okay, so these are the options. You can set it up in your organization for Office 365. The next part is, okay, Microsoft 365 with PowerShell. How we can connect it environment with the help of PowerShell. This is the more interesting thing, and the most important part is that when number of people are getting issues when they are trying to install Windows PowerShell module for Azure AD and Windows PowerShell module for MS Online. So as a regular time to time, I also face those couple of issues. So that can be resolvable, and I will show you how we can install it in a step-by-step method. This will help you for easy and convenient installation of Windows PowerShell module for Azure AD. So let me quickly show you. And just before that, there's a difference. You can see it here. Azure AD PowerShell for Graph provide the additional features and the functionality. It's module different, not much different. Like earlier we have an command, let's suppose new as MSOL user, the same as new Azure AD user. So these kind of replacements are there in the AD PowerShell for Graph as well as with normal Azure AD PowerShell. Like Azure AD domain get, here you will get an get MSOL domain. So these are the kind of simple instruction. Mostly it's start with MSOL instead of Azure AD. This is the main difference, nothing else. So okay, so once you are going to install it, how you can install the step-by-step installation. So we can see that how we can install Microsoft PowerShell Azure AD. Let me quickly, sorry, it's moved out. Okay, so now we are going to install Windows PowerShell module for Azure AD. Let me quickly start my Windows PowerShell, which is already site in your server, or it might be if you are using Windows 10 machine sector, you can also use it. Run as administrator, right click and press run as administrator. So I just logged in and clear it. Okay, so this is my PowerShell. If I try to put some commands like get MS Online, MSOL or MSO, I can't resolve this. I tried to resolve it, but it's not working because currently the module is not installed here. So first of all, you have to identify the PowerShell version. Recommended version is 5 at least. So PS version, I'm just going to type and check it. My PowerShell is compatible or not. Recommended is version 5, so you can PS version table and check the PS version. Let me quickly, okay, I have a Imagine 5 installed here, so I can go directly for the installation. Let me quickly try to install module install -module. If I see I can able to install it, or might be I need to download and you get. So let me Azure AD. I'm just trying to install a module Azure AD. Let me see, it's getting installed. Or okay, so it's asking me to, and you get provider is required to continue. Let me quickly try to check it if it is getting installed or giving me an error message, because in the sometime I got that installation package error message and trusted repository. Okay, so it's now downloading Azure AD module and installing it. Okay, now it's installed. If you get an error message to install, then you have to run one more command here, that is install package provider. Okay, and package provider name is NUGET get -force. So you can play this command if you are getting an error message and like your system is unable to download and install from NuGet model provider. So you can run this command to deploy it. One more thing, you can just, I will copy these all commands in my description box also. So it's only required when you are getting an error message at this prompt. Second thing, suppose you are getting an error message while running this command also, like you might get an error message as you are unable to install this package and all. So you have to run one more command before that, that is net dot service point manager, because sometime due to TLS 1.2 you will be getting this message colon and security protocol. I will copy all these commands in my description box of this link. .net dot security protocol type okay TLS12. So you can run this command if you are getting error while installing NuGet. Okay, so I have installed my module Azure AD, and now I'm just going to install one more module, that is Microsoft MS Online. So let me quickly, it's MS Online. Okay, I'm installing both module right away so I can show you all the commandlets, the difference between commandlets and all. Okay, so it's now unzipping and installing. Once you install it, you have to import it. Okay, now installation has been completed. Still I can't see MSO. Okay, so these are the commandlets. Now you can see it's available, and if I put some Azure commandlets, you can see the Azure commandlets are integrated. If you are not getting, you can just run the command import -module and then Azure AD, same as MS Online, the name which we have used here for the installation. These two, you can run these two commands, import module and run it. So this will also import it if you are not getting commandlets ready. Okay, so when I'm trying to get AD Azure AD user, okay, it will show me an error message because currently we are not connected with environment. So first I have to connect it with my environment, that is Office 365 portal, where I have my tenant is account is hosted. So let me how we can connect it. So for that you have to run the command connect-Azure AD, but that required and credential. So I am taking a variable here, that is CRED is equal to, I can just put it get-credential. So that will ask me to enter some credential, and I will store it in a variable. The variable name is .cred, which I have taken it here. Further, I will, when I'm trying to connect it, I will pass this credential. So now it's asking me to enter the credential. So my account is SPL admin, which I have taken, and as SPL test1 dot on microsoft.com, which is my primary SPN or domain name, and this is my account. So I have just entered my credential in the same. Okay, so now my credential are stored in my in this variable. We are going to connect it. Connect hyphen Azure AD space credential, and now I'm just entering the variable name. Okay, so what it will do, it will connect it. Okay, now it's connected with this domain account. I will rerun the same command which I had done. Okay, get AD Azure. Now you can see these two accounts which are exist in the environment here in my admin center. If I check on users, let me quickly show you. Okay, in the active users we have only 2 user accounts exist. Okay, it's signed out. Let me go back, sign in again. Okay, in my active the users, 2 users are there. The same thing you will get it here, 2 users are there. Let me quickly show you more details on this. Suppose I have taken it get hyphen AD user, sorry, get hyphen AD user, and then I put an command object ID. I placed an object ID as this, and after that I'm going to show you. Okay, and then I'm just adding it. If I put fl/star, okay, let me see what exactly we are getting here. Okay, so what you can see, this is the user account detail. Like I have taken a user account detail for all the accounts, and this is a specific account. If I put a command get hyphen ms online users, msol user. Okay, see, so you're saying you must call the connect service, because I have just connected Azure AD. I have not connected my MS online services till now. So for that, what you have to do, you have to use the same command, which is I have taken in CRED variable. So I'm just going to connect it, connect hyphen ms online service, and with the credential information is my CRED credential. I connected it. Okay, so now it's connected with Microsoft MS online service. Let me replay the same command and see. Okay, so you can see now I'm able to get it, the user account details. Alright, so let me quickly replay one more command, that is get hyphen ms ol user, and along with UPN. So when I place the user principal name, I am just going to put this UPN here along with this. Okay, and we can try to see if I am getting FL*, so from which you can also see the complete details of this particular user account. Now you can see the difference is there. When I place a command msol user, so it's giving me a couple of attributes. Those are mainly related to user account is specific to Microsoft Online, but when I place the command get AD users, so that shows the entire schema, assign plan details, the classing structure, everything. So it's basically taking data as from Azure AD and in the form of Azure AD attributes, and here it's giving me an option to get user details from MS Online Office 365. So all these things are in Office 365 itself only. Okay, so this is how you can run, and you can run number of commands whatever you want. You can check groups, you can create users, you can assign licensing, whatever you want you can do it through this Windows PowerShell. Let me quickly move ahead on this and see what next we can do it here. Okay, so this is the Office 365 authentication options. What we have in my Office 365 authentications, so we have an cloud identity, synchronized identity, and the federated identity. So as we have seen initially in this video, we have these three types of user accounts, and each account is depend on their functionality and authentication process. So the authentication process is for Azure AD, it's an independent cloud identity, and the authentication will be hosted by Azure AD only. If you have a synchronized identity, that is Azure AD Connect is used to sync your on-premises Active Directory. Here you can see the single identity, enable the same sign-on experience with your password hash synchronization. So the on-premises details along with your password information will be synced to cloud or O365, and with the help of the same, users get authenticated. The third one is federated identity. So in the federated identity, it works in two-way phase. The first is you have to use Azure AD Connect to sync your account information to cloud, and the second process, you have to publish your federation services, that's its ADFS, to authenticate user accounts. So in this scenario, the single sign-on or SSO will work. When you are trying to log in the cloud portal service, it redirect your request to on-premises ADFS server. Then ADFS server will authenticate your account from local AD and send back token to cloud or Office 365. Once it's reached their successful token, then you are able to access your portal or services. So these are the three type of accounts authentication process. I will show you how we can do Azure AD Connect and all. Okay, the directory synchronization, how it's basically worked. To work on this, you have to use you can use your database and identity service. You can see it here, everything is stored in your identity management, and it's basically syncing from your on-premises server. Here you can see the on-premises Active Directory Windows server is there. It's synchronizing with your Azure Active Directory, and everything is stored in your identity management box or its virtual structure. It exists here, from which the database, Exchange, LDAP, any database service wherever it's your authentication request required, it's sending it request over the cloud. You can use single forest or a multi-forest synchronization. That would not be a challenge. You can define as per your domain and as per your requirement. I will show you how you can synchronize it. A couple of preparation that you require. You have to identify you are going to SSO environment or not. You need to add UPN suffix as per your custom domain. Might be because your internal domain sometime does not publish to our internet, or it's always not recommended to publish your internal local domain to cloud or in a public environment. For example, you have an domain company abc.com, so your email addresses must be as abc.com or something like that, and that is not recommended to keep your internal domain. Might be your internal domain for your abc.com, it will be as abc local or ABC internal or something like that. It always recommended to use a different domain as publishing for external and comparison to internal. So for the internal domain, if I used ABC internal or ABC local, and my external is abc.com. So in this scenario, you have to add the UPN suffix. UPN suffix is you have to add in Active Directory additional UPN with your all accounts, and I will show you how we can set it up. This we have an ID fix for Office 365 to resolve your issues and health check. I will show this also, how the AD synchronization work and how we can enable the Active Directory AD Connect. Okay, for this you have to configure your directory synchronization. Before that, you have to configure your domain in your Office 365. You can enable the directory synchronization by using Windows PowerShell as well as by using Admin Center. I will show you this in the same video, this video only, how we can set it up. We have to ensure that port number 443, because the network port 443 it's working, Azure AD Connect, that would be enabled. You must have server with accessibility of this. So for that, we have Azure AD Connect, that you have to download it, an application from same admin portal, and you have to identify the user of groups that you want to synchronize. It's not recommended to synchronize the entire Active Directory. You must synchronize the user and the groups whatever you have to use in the cloud, and that you required it over a portal. That's it. Entire else environment should not be synchronized over a cloud if you have an hybrid environment. This is a recommended approach. Rest it would be totally depends on your organization policy and how you are going to deploy your architectural approach. It totally depends on you. And another one option is available. This is the new feature which has added a couple of years back as Azure AD Connect pass-through authentication method. So in that scenario, you do not require an ADFS solution. Your authentication request directly pass to your on-premises Active Directory and it will return back to cloud. It's not just like as an SSO, but because you are not redirecting to on-premises for authentication, it's basically a request is handled by a cloud, Office 365 Azure AD or a Microsoft Azure AD, and Microsoft Azure AD is synchronized with your on-premises environment. So don't be confused with ADFS and pass-through authentication request. In the ADFS, this client will directly connect it to your on-premises server. Request is redirected and you will be redirected to published page of ADFS in your corporate environment if you are using an ADFS authentication process or a federated authentication process. In this scenario, my Azure AD is sending a request to my on-premises environment. So this is the major difference between pass-through and ADFS or federated authentication process. So don't be mixed up with those two. I will show how we can do that. For the troubleshooting purpose, it's always recommended to see the synchronization logs. Sometimes due to some AD attributes, it's getting you will be getting a replication issue with couple of objects that will show in the error message, and you can troubleshoot it on the basis of your logs. Maybe you will get some credential issues, maybe you will get some synchronization conflicts, some OUs attributes, or might be if your directory is corrupted, so still you will unable to replicate the user accounts to cloud. So these are the couple of things that you have to do in the troubleshooting. I will show you how we can use Azure AD Connect and how we can authenticate it. So that's it. Now we are just going to look at the same. Okay, so now we are going to see how we can use an Azure AD Connect. Before that starting, I am just showing you a couple of things with our on-premises environment. Let me quickly open my sorry. let me open my Active Directory users and computer. So what I have in on premises right now, this is my domain, that is splocal.com, and this is my on-premises domain where I have an OU as cloud users. Some on-prem I have taken it as different one. So I have cloud O365 organizational unit. I will synchronize this organizational unit only, where I have a group and users. Sales SY, I have taken it as for the sync user 1, sync user 2, and group is sync user all for sales. And this group have 2 members, these 2 user accounts. So this is what I have in on premises right now. Obviously in your organization you have an many more users, thousands and number of users, so it would be totally depend, but I have taken it as just sample. Okay, so now I'm just going back on my, okay, it's timeout and close. Let me close everything. Okay, so once I go on my home page in Office 365 Admin Center, okay, let me quickly log in it. Okay, now I have to go and start my synchronization. Okay, it's not sure why it's logged out again. I've logged in here. I just closed it this session because I'm trying to log in it with the multiple sessions. Okay, so I have seen a couple of users are here. It's giving me a strange thing. You can see it only the 2 user account that are available and at this moment. So I'm just going to show how we can synchronize it. Okay, I need to go to Active Directory, that is Azure Active Directory. Let me quickly show you. Okay, once you click on Admin Center, Azure Active Directory, from this portal you will reach to Azure Active Directory dashboard. Here you can see the recommendation sync with your AD. This option is available here, and Azure AD sync not enabled. So I can see it from this, or you may get this option in this list also. Once you click on Azure Active Directory, you will get Azure AD Connect here. So from the home page you can get it on the dashboard itself only. If it is not there in your dashboard, then still you will get this option. So that would not be an issue. You can just simply click on Azure Active Directory, and from there you can enable it from this. You can see the federation, seamless single sign-on, pass-through authentication. These are the options available for the user sign-in method. All are disabled at this moment. I will enable it and show you. First of all, I have to download my my Azure AD Connect, so which is not installed till now. So I have clicked on that to download and install the Azure AD Connect. So first I need to download it here. I just clicked on download, and now the downloading is getting started. Okay, so it's downloaded now. I have shown the okay. I just double click on that. You need an server where you can deploy it, and must have an connectivity with internet as well as with your local internal Active Directory. So make sure wherever you are installing this, you must have these 2 functionalities available. You have to agree it, click on continue. It asked me to customize the setting or use the express setting. In the customize, you will get specify if you want to use an existing SQL that required and SQL database to install the things. So you can choose an customization, or you can just go ahead simply and install it. So we'll start installing your SQL Express as a local server database. If you want to put it in a different SQL server, you can take it that way also. Okay, saying no existing synchronization service is found, so it's trying to service to be installed. That will take a couple of minutes for the installation. Once installation get completed, we will get options for the configuration. I will show you all these, how it will go and how it will install it. It takes couple of minutes, so once we wait for that time. Okay, so now it's ready. It's asking me for the password synchronization. If you click on this question mark, this allows sign in to cloud with the same password that you use in on-premises. Make sure that hash synchronization does not store or send the clear text password. That is one thing. Pass-through authentication, that can be enable your Active Directory and passing request to on-premises. You have an ADFS, you can choose this option. You can federate with Ping Federates, where you can log in with the corporate service or any other service password authentication request for the federation, as well as do not configure. So you are not going to configure a signing method, only you are syncing your all premises account. So from here you can enable your single sign-on purpose. If you enable a single sign-on, in that scenario, if you are logged in with the same user account that you have to use in your cloud, so users are logged in with the same account, then users will be directly opening, they are able to directly open their Outlook. They need not to enter their password, username, and they try to log in on the portal. Need not to enter the credential once again. I'm taking it right now as the hash synchronization this moment. It's asking me to enter my Azure AD Global Administrator credential. So I'm just going to enter it. It's my SPL admin account, test1.onmicrosoft.com. okay, and the password for this account, it's trying to connect it with, okay, incorrect username and password. I think I have typed some, okay, SPL is missing, sorry, have entered the wrong credential. So okay, let's just try to connect it. Examining this domain and the domain information, so it will take couple of minutes. Okay, now it's back with my screen to add the Active Directory. Okay, so now it's showing me to connect with your Active Directory. Now forest is this, and I have selected this. Okay, this is Active Directory. The forest name which is available is SPL local. So I have tried to add this directory. It's creating me to add the forest account. So here I need to add my local account information, that is SP local, and the account that I used for administration, it must have an permission on local Active Directory enterprise level. So let me enter the password. Click on OK. It's trying to discover, it's only this one is the domain is available, which is spllocal.com, and obviously I use this directory configuration, but I don't have an SPN. I have not configured till now, so I need to add the SPN information. You can see it's not in Azure AD. This is the message you will be getting, what I have in my Azure AD. Let me go back and show you. Okay, in my this Active Directory information, if I click on my existing domains or from the users itself, you can check it. I have an default domain is spltest.in only. So this is the challenge which I can see it here, and obviously you will be also getting. So first I need to add this as a UPN suffix. in your in my Active Directory information. So I can just open it, my users, and add domains and trust. Okay, and I just opened this. I'm going to my domain and trust to add my NUSPN. Just click on this, and in the properties I'm going to add my domain, that is spltest.in, as a suffix because I have this account in my cloud. So I just added it here, closed, and okay. So now I have an account which is available and added here. Let me go back in my users and computer and see it. Okay, so this is okay, these are the two user accounts that are added in the group. Let me quickly show the users. So users UPNs, what exactly right now? If I see currently it's spl.com, I change it to spltest.in. I can do it with the PowerShell, and this is mainly at the time of planning stage. This account must be added, and when you are trying to create a new user account like this in Active Directory, you can choose the specific domain. That is what I have here. I'm just going to create a new user 1 with this account. So it's just similar as what you have in the local login credential, doesn't matter, but SPN must be. So I've just added this user account here. Okay, so I have created 3 user accounts now. Two was the ODL one and my other is also. Okay, let me quickly rename it as user 1 new SY user 1. I can just change it, so just for the synchronization purpose. Okay, and the logon name I'm also going to change it. This would be easy. Okay, so what I will do, I will sync these users and this group. SPN suffix is added. Now I'm going back to my Azure AD. Go back on previous and recheck once again. So what it will do, now you can see the verified domain is added here, this one. So and continue with the, it's saying without matching suffix, not added because I have taken it. So just me quickly go back on my syncing text section. Okay, let me connect it once again. We have only this Active Directory. If you have multiple forests, you will get an option other forest, or if you have multiple domains, you will get those directory options. You can add it here. I have 2 domains and one is there. If you want to continue, user will not be able to sign in AD on on-premises connection if UPN suffix does not match a verified domain. So it's giving me an warning message because it does not match with cloud. This one is verified because this one I have in on premises. For AD attribute, which attribute you want to take it as a unique one, so I have taken it user principal name on the on-premises attribute used as a AD Azure username. So what will be the username? Default should be user name. I have taken UPN. Okay, so I'm clicking on next. Sync all the domains in the OU, or you can select it as per your requirement. So what I am going to do it here, I am just going to select it a specific OU, that is Cloud O365. I just want to sync these 2 ones only, these 2 OUs. Here you have an option, you can sync the entire directory or you can sync a specific user group. So I have taken it the specific user group which I have shown you here. these group and ones Cloud O365, and this is an approach used by most of the organization when they are trying to sync the environment. They always use a specific environment, that is specific OUs in the environment that is used to sync on the cloud. Just click on next. Here the mail attributes or all the users represent only across all the directories or specific ones you would like to place it. Let Azure manage the source anchor. If you want to specify an attribute, you can define it here. Uniquely identification of user settings between on-premises and Azure AD. Keep it default. Synchronize all the users and the devices that exist in your environment, or you want to synchronize it on a specific ones. If any filterization you want to put on the basis of group etc. in the same OU also. Okay, now you can see the various options, hash password synchronization, which I have selected, directory extension attributes if you want to add it here. No, not yet. I'm not going to do it right now. Okay, now I'm just checking, installing and ready for the component. So it will take and start the synchronization once the process is complete, and enable the staging mode when the not export any data. So that I'm not going to choose it right now. Click on install. So it will verify the connectivity to Azure Active Directory and the synchronization service verification. Now it's configuring my account configuration, so it will do all of these stuff. You need not to worry about that, how it will go synchronize, how it will work the synchronization. That has been taken care by this tool itself only. This may take couple of minutes for the synchronization. Once the synchronization get complete, we will see the user account. One more thing I just wanted to add it here. Once you do the synchronization, that will still take a couple of minutes at your portal. That means here in the user section. So it will still take couple of minutes, and you can see the on-premises synchronization is in continue, but it will take couple of minutes. So just wait, and you can see it after some time how it will go. Let me just finish it and then see how it will go. Okay, so now its configuration is completed, and you can see the configuration is complete. You can log on with Azure or Office 365 portal to verify the user accounts, which I have created locally. It's saying recycle bin services are not enabled, so that is recommended to enable it, because I have not enabled this as a test domain. It was there. AD attribute MSDS consistency GUID as a source anchor for the attribute. Okay, so I'm just clicking on exit to close this, and now see how it will go. Okay, so now I'm going back on my Azure AD portal and just do a refresh to check it out. This may require a couple of minutes, as I said to you. So it will be available here in okay. Now you can see the sync is now available. These are the users which exist in your on-premises environment here. Now the user accounts are available here. Now I'm going back on my Active Directory admin center portal and check it out. In active user in the user section, let me quickly add a new user license. You can see the license are not assigned on this. So what I have to do, I have to assign some licensing. Okay, I am going to sales SYU1. It's an unlicensed user, so I'm just going to assign a license. Okay, you can see the license and the app details. Quickly jump into the same location. I'm assigning a license, whatever license you want. If you want to specify a selected license, you can specify it. Same way, I assign this license now. Okay, so you have your changes has been saved and the license is assigned. I just go and try to log in with the same account. Let me open a new window with this user. portal.office365.com. okay, my user account is let me quickly see. Okay, that is sales SYU1, and I need to log in with the SPN, or sorry, the UPN, that is user spell name. That UPN is sales SYU1 at spltest.in. I need to use this one, sales SYU1. I think I'm not wrong with that. Sales SYU1, right? At spltest.in. I logged in with this account. Let me see what next will be happen. It asking me to enter the password. I enter the password which I choose in the on-premises. I think I have taken a wrong password. Let me quickly add. Okay, it's asking me to enable the default security options. Perfect. So now I have assigned the license, you can see, which I have shown you in the last video also. The Office 365 user which I have created, this one, that is on sales user 1, which I have created in cloud only, but this one is your sync account. So I logged in, I have created a user in the on-premises, assigned the password in the on-premises, and then I am trying to log in it here. I can see I can able to access it. If I go in the Outlook, I can able to access the Outlook also. Okay, I am able to send emails or whatever things. Okay, let me send an email to myself only, no issue, or let me send an email to external ID, which I used in my last video also. That is I think I forgot that ID or not yet. It was SkyPass. Okay, SkyPass test 1 at outlook.com. This is an external email account which exists on Microsoft Outlook. I am sending it test email, testing. I send this email from my account, and okay, so it's went away. Let me check on my account if it is there. Okay, I got that email and I am replying it once it's back in my account. Okay, now I got that email. Once reply back. Okay, it's coming from, so everything, all features which I synced my local account, it's working perfectly fine. You can see it here. Let me quickly log off this, and as I just created one user when I start this video in this, so this one is new one. I created this a few minutes ago. So let me assign the license to this one also and show you. Okay, licensing. I just go on the licensing section. I enable that, save the changes. Okay, now license is assigned. Let me quickly open it. Once this account, its account name is new SY user 1. So okay, it's new SY user 1 at spltest.in. This account I have just created a few minutes ago, if you remember. Okay, so now this is also perfectly fine. It's syncing, it's getting logged on and everything. And if I open the Outlook for this account, let me quickly show you. Okay, so now you can see it's available here. Let me quickly send an email to SPL, not that was the sales user 1 or sales sync user 1. I am just sending a test email from here to them. Test it. Again, I'm open it normal one, portal dot sorry, I think I typed wrong. Okay, I'm just logging with the account which I used to send email, that is sales SYU1, sales SYU1. Let me quickly, give me a moment. Okay, let me quickly show you we got that email or not. See, this is the one which I got it here. Okay, so this one is working, seems like good. Let me test it. Test, let me see. Test is go send back. Okay, and I'm going back it here. Sorry, in this cell test is received. So everything is working fine, even internal mail flow, external mail flow and all. If I want to restrict users to login in the portal, so I can do that also. If I go back on my admin center and I want to restrict this user should not logged in. I clicked on use account and just simply you have to click on block sign in. Once you block user to sign in, it would be restricted. Suppose someone has reported you and you are the administrator and someone is reporting my account is exposed or password is exposed or something, and I want to restrict it, or due to some unusual activities if it is reported, then what you can do, you can block it. Let me see what will happen. It could be for the on-prem sync account or non-on-prem sync account. So sales SYU1, I think I blocked this only. Let me enter the password and check it out. I think I have blocked different sales SY1. Okay, that will take a couple of minutes, might be it's around 60 minutes it's saying as for the recommendation. So you see if it is taking some time or it's not it's not giving me a login state. Let me quickly. Okay, it's blocked as worked or not. Let me just show you once. It's taking up to 60 minutes, but that is the maximum time period. And okay, Now you can see the portal is blocked for you. Okay, it could be that the user license were correctly assigned, or wait and refresh the page, because the reason behind is that I blocked the accessibility method. So if I'm going to access Outlook or anything, it would be restricted. Once I re-enable it from my portal, okay, let me show you. Unblock sign in and save the changes. It takes couple of minutes in the refresh. Okay, so now I have unblocked that user, and if I go back and refresh the same, let me see, it's not packed. This is how you can do. Sometimes it take couple of minutes in replication, couple of minutes in syncing, so that can be happen. And I'm just showing you one more thing. This is my Azure AD Connect, which is in on premises. Once you double click on that, the server where you have installed, so that will show you the configuration section of this. Schedule the installation configuration, so I will update the more details in later on. You can see these are the structure which we have already in place. Configure device options, you can configure the management. So these are the additional activities that you can do after installation or deployment. Here you can deploy some certificates, etc. if you have to manage it for the ADFS server management. So these are the couple of options, and you can deploy it for the SSO management if you want to set it up. I will share the more details on upcoming videos related to Office 365, how you can do that, more other things like with the Exchange management, user management and all. In the meantime, you can keep watching my channel and do subscribe it. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye bye.